Christ is risen. Oh, how impressive, sisters and brothers. Almost like you practiced. Is it me or does Easter seem a little late this year? Yeah? Every year, every liturgical year has its own rhythm. And, that rhythm is kind of dictated by what cycle we're in, A, B, or C, 1 or 2. It depends on what day of the week Christmas falls. It depends on when exactly within a 5 or 6 week period Easter falls. Every year has this little twist in the way it unfolds. And this year, we have this extra added wrinkle that, of course, Pope Francis passed away on Easter Monday. That's why we put up the black bunting on the arch outside. And we continue to ask, we're continuing this novena of prayers for Pope Francis and the repose of his soul. And of course, this week we are also praying for the College of Cardinals as they prepare to sit in conclave. We pray, sisters and brothers, for the repose of the soul of Pope Francis, who was the 265th successor of St. Peter. And the College of Cardinals will gather on Wednesday and start the process of electing a new pope to be the 266th successor of St. Peter. You will notice, sisters and brothers, that I did not say Francis was a successor of Benedict. We don't say that. We don't say that Benedict was a successor of John Paul II. We don't say that John Paul II was the successor of St. John Paul I. We don't say that Paul VI was the successor, that John Paul I was the successor of Paul VI. We don't say that Paul VI was the successor of John the 23rd. And if you think I'm going through 260 other names, you're crazy. You might be crazy for some other reason, I don't know. Sisters and brothers, we call our Pope the successor of St. Peter. So it's worthwhile, and it's interesting that Holy Mother Church, in her regular cycle of readings, gives us these readings to meditate on who we pray for when we pray for the Pope, and who we pray for when we pray for a Pope, for our next Pope, by listening to the charge that Jesus gives Peter. We hear, sisters and brothers, how St. Peter was a witness to the good news, but not only a witness, but the lead witness, the chief witness. We heard how Peter and the apostles get called on the carpet before the Sanhedrin for daring to preach the good news, getting told, you better not preach the good news. But Peter and the apostles said in reply, we must obey God rather than men. Peter was witness and the chief witness. And our popes are witnesses and chief witnesses. And you sisters and brothers, you biblical scholars out there, you Greek scholars, know full well that the Greek word for witness is martyr. And we hear how our first pope, St. Peter, was to stretch out his hands, winning the crown of martyrdom. St. Peter and his successors also lead us in worshiping Jesus Christ. We hear, sisters and brothers, when we read the book of Revelation, yes, the great revelation to John. We hear, sisters and brothers, a little glimpse of the heavenly worship. And knowing that our worship here on earth, which our popes lead us in, provide a little glimpse, a little echo, a little sigh of that great worship, where everything in the universe will cry out to the one who sits on the throne and to the Lamb, be blessing and honor, glory and might. When we pray for a pope, we pray for someone to lead us in that kind of worship. Jesus challenges St. Peter, calling him by his old name, Simon, you'll notice. Do you love me more than these? And the Pope, in a way, our popes, to do their jobs, need to be able to love Jesus even more than we do. And Jesus gives them this great charge. Feed my lambs, tend my sheep, feed my sheep. And Francis, as the 265th successor of Peter, strove to do that. And our next Pope, whoever he is going to be charged to tend the sheep, to feed the sheep. So our job, sisters and brothers, is not only to pray for the repose of Pope Francis. Our job is not only to pray for the College of Cardinals as they sit in conclave with the hard work of electing a pope. But our job also is to allow ourselves to be tended, to allow ourselves to be fed. And that's hard work too. But as sisters and brothers, allowing ourselves to be tended, allowing ourselves to be fed, we may be renewed in youthfulness of spirit and rejoice now in the restored glory of our adoption, knowing full well that God will change our mourning into dancing so that we may forever give God thanks. Oh, my sisters and brothers, we rejoice because Christ has risen. Oh, I almost caught you that time. And praise be the risen Jesus Christ, now and forever.